I went from constant overthinking and anxiety to being able to turn thought on and off at will by simply asking who's thinking. Every time I had a thought, I would look for the place the thought came from. And when I realized there was no thinker, that thought was just coming out of nothing, out of emptiness. All of a sudden, there was just this relief. All of a sudden, thought wasn't forced on me. So in this video, I'm going to try and do my best to explain this whole concept of finding where thought comes from. And by doing this, you just don't need to think all the time. We suffer because every moment of our lives we spend thinking, worrying, overthinking. But as soon as you have the ability to basically turn thought on and off at will, it becomes a tool and not a crutch. Right now, you're basically forced to overthink. You know that feeling when you're having a good time, a lovely day, and then all of a sudden you remember this like stressful thing and you're just like, oh, dang, like now you got to worry about this all day, right? Let me check the time. When you genuinely don't need to think, it becomes a way more useful tool. I had basically OCD for a few years, where I needed things to be a certain way for me to be happy. If I wasn't certain that I locked the door, or wasn't certain that I closed the faucet, wasn't certain that I told my friend thank you, I would stress about it and overthink for hours because I felt like if I didn't do this or that, I would be miserable, my life would suck, so I'd worry about it. But now, instead of this, let's say you have this first thought. Did I lock the door? Uncontrollable, right? The first thought just comes up uncontrollably. Instead of saying, yes, I did, no, I didn't, I wish I wasn't so stressed, I need to go to therapy, maybe I should meditate, instead of responding like that, you just immediately ask, okay, who's thinking? You immediately direct attention towards the place the thought is coming from. And now you're in this state of awareness, all right? You're in this state of awareness, noticing how thoughts just keep coming uncontrollably. The thought, yes, I, you, that first thought before the sentence continues pops up. But when you don't respond to it, when you are aware of this space it's coming out of, aware that you're not the thinker of these thoughts, they're just coming uncontrollably, they just kind of fade out, they fizzle out on their own. It's hard to explain in words. You really do have to practice it yourself, like actually try to find where the thought comes from. When I say ask yourself who's thinking, I don't mean think about where it's coming from, where the thoughts are coming from. That's just more ego-based, thought-based activity. Instead, you just sort of feel where the thought's coming from. You feel this awareness of the space it's coming from. You almost you follow where the thought's coming from. You use it like a path, right? You see these thoughts coming up, popping up, and you follow each one back to the source, back to the root of the thought. And eventually, the whole goal of this, right? Like obviously the whole not thinking thing is a good hook, right? Like everyone wants to stop thinking, stop overthinking. But the end goal of this is to realize that you, the thinker, don't exist outside of thought. You aren't creating thought. The thought creates you, this imagined thinker. Notice how every thought you have assumes that there's a thinker of them. Every thought you have refers back to an I. I'm hungry, I want this, I wish I wasn't so sad. Notice how every thought refers back to you, the thinker, the one who's going to do something about the thought. When this thinker can't be found, all of a sudden, it's not you experiencing life. It's not you thinking thought. It's just everything happening together. You know, it's impossible to explain. I mean, like, you can't describe this state of oneness. But going to the root of thought, noticing that there's no thinker of the thought, is a really quick and easy way to get a taste of that experience of what I like to call, and many others do, non-dual awareness, basically. So there's no two. If you're interested in this stuff, Google non-duality after this video. It's a beautiful concept where there's no two. Like right now, it feels like I'm here sitting on this grass separate from me. So there's a divide between them. But in non-dual awareness, there's no you, there's no ground, there's no grass, there's no thinker, there's no thought. It's just this one big living thing that we're all a part of. It's like a wave is just the ocean in another form. At first glance, you say that's a wave and that's the ocean. But eventually you realize that the wave is just the ocean appearing in another form. We are experiencing this illusion of separation, of being the thinker. The separation is real. You feel separate. But is that feeling of separation happening to a physical you outside of life? The more you look, the more you realize you can't find a separate you outside of life. And that's really the freedom. That's basically what enlightenment is. I mean, it's a simplified version of enlightenment, I would say. But I think that's the best way to do it. You know, when you hear all these mythical descriptions of people finding God, enlightenment, etc., it's almost hard for our minds to comprehend, which is, you know, how it is. But when you break it down to something simple like, okay, stop thinking first. Realize that there's no thinker of thought. You have a simple method like this you can do all the time. No matter what thought you have, ask who's thinking. All the time. Instead of getting dragged into these long stories the ego, the mind weaves, saying, yesterday I was hungry, today I'm hungry again, whatever. Or yesterday I overate, today I shouldn't eat more. You know, instead of letting those stories continue by responding to the thought, you just stop it immediately by asking who's thinking, by trying to find that thinker. And this stops the ego from growing. And then there's no you, there's no separation between you and life. My goal at this point, really, I mean, goal is a strong word. For me, I could really just disappear into the mountains in like India somewhere and just like rest in this silence forever and feel like immense joy. But it's kind of, it feels like this is the right thing to do, right? To like try and simplify this stuff, to make it so other people can experience the same joy. Because like I genuinely had horrific anxiety for years. And following this method of finding the thinker, realizing there's no thinker separate from life, it like freed me and gave me so much joy and freedom and comfort that it would be wrong to not try and simplify it and share it. So that's my mission here. I mean, if you guys want more like a structured version of this, my website, zuckerabuddy.com, I'll link it in the bio. It always has my like living transmission, basically. Like wherever I am, whatever I feel is the most beneficial to you guys to find this silence, I have on there. Right now it has this simple 3-step process of finding the thinker, what I just described. And there's a place to book free calls with me. I'm doing 4 a day. First come, first serve. I just can't do too many. It exhausts me. Even though there's so much love, you know. And I'm also trying to build a retreat center, buy a few acres of land in Northern California in the mountains where I just like live in like a tent or something and build other tents and stuff. And you guys come and we all rest in this presence together and we can all guide each other, you know. I'm basically just a mirror of you guys, right? Everyone is just a mirror of each other. When you look into someone's eyes, you like see yourself reflected back. You see their emptiness, their soul in their eyes, and you're reminded of what you are as well. So being in a loving community like that, in the mountains especially, can be very beneficial to that extent. But I'd say that's everything here, really. If you guys want more resources on this, again, go to zuckerabuddy.com. You can read the book Who Am I by Ramana Maharshi. It's free online. He's a living saint. Well, he's passed now, but. Or even look up rumination by Michael J. Greenberg. He has some good therapy articles. So those are 3 pretty good resources. I'll link them all below. Yeah, I mean, all love, guys. I really love making these longer form videos too. I feel like I can get a deeper explanation out than like the 10-second Instagrams. If you guys have any video requests or anything you want from me, just comment it, you know. It's easier for me to see these comments than your DMs on Instagram because I get less of them here. All love, guys. Just every time you have a thought now, after this video ends, just ask who's thinking. Try and find where the thought is coming from. All love.